sharing a hotel room with my stepson led to an unforgettable experience, a true tale of betrayal. That evening, nestled in the cozy confines of the little hotel room with Ethan, I come to understand that the surprises life throws your way are truly unpredictable. Even then, I felt the same unease as my husband. Nathan found himself in a foreign city, immersed in its wonders for several months. I missed him, without a doubt, yet it was not merely that. His absence spoke volumes. It was his indifference, his disinterest, that lay at the heart of the matter. Though the evenings were filled with solitude, they gnawed at the very essence of my being. How could I have foreseen that asking my stepson Ethan to take me to your dad would lead to such an unexpected twist? In a quaint hotel room, adorned with a single bed, the unfolding events danced just out of reach of my understanding. Let me take you on a journey through every intricate detail from the very start. I assure you, the ending of this tale will be just, more captivating than you could ever envision. As I prepared to step out that morning, I caught a fleeting glimpse of myself in the mirror. Tension coursed through me, undeniably, yet I still managed to look fantastic, even in the wake of Nathan's departure, leaving me feeling so alone. Though I continued to feel a spark of allure, a pulse of vitality coursing through me, those fleeting sensations no longer sufficed. They failed to satisfy. Nathan was savoring his breakfast in the kitchen when I called out from behind. I know you're heading off to college at the end of this summer, but you still need to work on your driving. Come on, let me join the adventure as well. Your dad, he gazed at me with that same playful grin, full of mischief. On his face, he always wore a smile that hinted at his quirky, hilarious nature. Ethan was a nice kid, full of charm and laughter. Yet he could be quite the little rascal at times, all in good fun, he teased, addressing his fine stepmom. However, there's one condition: please ask Dad to get me a nicer automobile for the summer, and then we shall converse about it. Yet I responded with determination, guiding him inside, all the while contemplating, let's just bring this journey to a close. Yet, I was completely unaware. The journey was unfolding in unexpected ways. We had been on the road for almost 2 hours now. In the back seat, I found myself lost in my phone, while Ethan filled the air with his voice, harmonizing with a peculiar tune on the radio. Every now and then, he would toss out some absurd quip that sent him into fits of laughter. In an instant, the automobile let out a terrible hiss, and just like that, it came to a halt, lifeless. What's going on? I inquired, making an effort to mask my unease, I suppose. As the car sputtered to a halt, Ethan's frustration bubbled to the surface. He guided the vehicle to the roadside, a storm of emotions brewing within him, leaving us stranded in the vast emptiness of nowhere. The signal on my phone flickered weakly, a mere whisper in the vast emptiness, and the solitude around me was palpable, with no soul in sight. In our quest to assist, we dedicated 2 hours to battling the issue, reaching out to every technician we could find, and striving to mend the troublesome device. At last, we came to terms with the undeniable truth. Our only option was to settle in for the night at the nearest hotel, while Ethan engaged in conversation at the motel reception. As I stood behind the person at the desk, a wave of irritation washed over me. Should Nathan discover this, I imagined he would completely unravel. Yet, in that intriguing moment it seemed as though it held little significance. Deep down, I felt a stirring within me, a whisper that tonight would shift the very fabric of my existence. Before this narrative takes an unexpected turn, be sure to subscribe to my channel and activate those notifications. Believe me, you won't want to overlook this. As we journey through this tale, I hope to feel your encouragement in the comments, and see those likes light up when we step into the room and unveil the threshold. All my hopes and dreams went up in flames, leaving the area in ruins. It was a tiny space, barely large enough to turn around in, furnished with just a bed, a nightstand, and a feeble overhead light that flickered, casting an unsteady glow over everything. Seemed bleak. The ceiling appeared to loom overhead, casting a sense of confinement. The air conditioning barely works. It operated, and that one small window almost obscured the parking lot entirely. This is it, I muttered in discontent as Ethan stepped in behind me, a chuckle escaping his lips. What did you anticipate? A luxurious 5-star hotel. We find ourselves here for just a fleeting night. Take a deep breath, stepmom. His playful tone, woven through his words, paired with that mischievous grin, simply captivated me. Frustration intensified. Yet I found it hard to completely despise Ethan's easygoing, relaxed demeanor when he was near, even if I never admitted it to myself. Something within me stirred, igniting a sense of exhilaration. I found myself struggling to grasp the intensity of this heat, which felt as if it were sapping my very essence. I murmured softly, my fingers gliding over the nape of my neck in a futile attempt to find relief. I feel it's time for a refreshing shower, or I might just be lost in my own thoughts. On the verge of losing consciousness. Indeed, Ethan replied with a casual air, throwing himself onto the bed and lying flat on his back. Welcome, Sophia. This is your space. Make yourself comfortable and do what you must. I looked upon. For a fleeting moment, I caught sight of him. His slender yet fit physique paired with a hint of youthful charm created an unusual allure. Yet I quickly tried to banish the thought from my mind. He was, after all, Nathan's child, my stepson. I entered the bathroom, the door slamming shut with a resounding thud behind me. For a moment, I found myself lost in the depths of my reflection, staring into the mirror. My hair was stuck to my scalp, my skin glistening from the heat. Yet I continued to search, for I still possessed that glimmer of hope. Activating the cascade of water. I allowed the water to flow freely, stepping beneath its cascade, believing it would cleanse the knot of feelings swelling within me. Within me, I reflect on my 47 years, realizing that Ethan has grown. He's now 22, ready to embark on his own journey. We embark on this new chapter of college life, finding ourselves confined in this cozy motel room for a handful of days. The idea stirred a mix of unease and intrigue within me, in a way that eluded clear definition. Nathan danced into my thoughts, a spark of surprise igniting within me. I long to visit, to share moments with you, yet here I find myself, confined within these hotel walls alongside your son, grappling with a whirlwind of emotions. The steam from the shower enveloped the small bathroom, the warmth soothing my body while my mind whirled. Ethan's grin, his laid-back charm, sparked something unforeseen within me. As I stood beneath the cascading water, I found myself unable to discern what this spark might evolve into, yet I sensed a transformative wave unfolding. Eventually, I made my way down the stairs for supper, eager to clear my reflections a touch. I donned a simple, flowing outfit, perfect for the heat, yet it also brought a sense of ease, as if I were attempting to shed an unusual tightness that had settled in. The hotel restaurant had a humble charm, yet cozy, perfect for an atmosphere. In this quaint little spot, I decided to indulge in a light lunch accompanied by a glass of wine, convinced it would aid me relax. The sun had dipped below the horizon, and the streetlights outside the motel flickered to life, gently illuminating the scene with their soft glow. Once upon a time, in a world filled with wonder, there existed a singular being who embarked on a journey of self-discovery and adventure. This being, with a heart full of dreams, sought to weave tales that would captivate the hearts and minds of all who would listen. Each step taken was a brushstroke on the canvas of life, painting vivid images of joy, sorrow, and everything in between. The path ahead was uncertain, yet filled with endless possibilities, waiting to be explored and shared with those who dared to dream alongside. And so, the journey began, a tale waiting to unfold in the most enchanting of ways. I found it impossible to quiet my mind, drifting back to the room above. I couldn't help but ponder what Ethan might be doing at this very moment. Someone as restless and full of energy as him was undoubtedly finding little enjoyment in being confined within the four walls of a cramped room. Yet, that nonchalant demeanor of his, so effortless and carefree, was driving me to the brink of madness in a way I couldn't quite articulate once my wine had vanished. With a lingering look at my dish, I ascended the stairs, each step measured and purposeful. As I drew near to the room, all was serenely tranquil. As I swung the door wide, the sight that greeted me took my breath away for a fleeting moment. Ethan had just stepped out of the shower, the warmth still clinging to him as he sank onto the bed, wrapped in a robe, utterly exhausted, half dreaming in a state of blissful repose. Garment. He showcased his slender, athletic build, with damp hair cascading over his forehead, and a subtle grin danced on his lips as if he were lost in a dream. My heart began to race. It was the final surprise I could have ever imagined stepping into, if only for a fleeting moment. I paused at the threshold, uncertain of the emotions swirling within me. An unusual blend of emotions swirled within me. I experienced a sense of unease, yet I found myself unable to remove my gaze from him. Asterisk. Sophia, a shining star in the night sky. Asterisk. What on earth are you up to, Nathan's son? I chastised myself inwardly, yet my gaze revealed Medrin's robe, which had slipped to an unexpected place. What I witnessed stirred something warm within me, pulling me apart from the ordinary. The confined dimensions of the room only exacerbated the situation. There existed no other bed. He faced a choice: surrender to sleep beside him, or endure the remainder of the night in a chair at the inn. The notion of a chair, amidst the heat, felt utterly unfathomable. I stepped into the room, where Ethan's calm, rhythmic breathing enveloped the space. I inhaled deeply, striving to center myself, yet the chaos within me clouded my thoughts. It was evident that I needed to pull myself together. All right, Sophia, I whispered under my breath. It's just a single night, nothing beyond that. This does not suggest anything I aim to astonish Nathan, and now I find myself in this predicament, so let's be reasonable. Hold it all in place. I approached the bed, drawn closer by the sight of Ethan, his face adorned with an innocent smile. I've just woven my already tangled thoughts into an even more intricate tapestry. Challenging. I settled onto the edge of the bed, pondering the path ahead and how I would navigate it. In the stillness of the night, a delicate sound stirred me from my slumber. I slowly cracked my eyes open, just enough to begin my quest. The chamber. I watched as Ethan moved restlessly on the bed. He seemed to drift in and out of slumber, his fingers weaving through his tousled hair as he gently scratched his head, lost in thought. I discovered myself captivated by his presence. Yet, I maintained a subtle gaze, feigning weariness. Within, though I experienced a spectrum of emotions, from calm to anxious. In that moment I sensed it. His gaze was fixed upon me. My heart began to race. He was watching me closely. I endeavored to uphold the ACT standards. The heavy-lidded gaze upon my countenance, a portrait of stillness. Yet, within me, a vibrant energy was stirring. With careful deliberation, I began to unfasten the belt of his robe, watching as it gradually came undone. The robe slipped from his shoulders, revealing more of his sculpted, youthful form. The subtle twitch of his muscles with each movement captivated the eye. A hue of emotion enveloped me. In that fleeting moment, I found myself unable to hold back. I came to understand two truths. I had no power over the unfolding events. And a part of me didn't even wish to bring it to an end. Ethan selected a pair of shorts from the wardrobe as he went about his task. He continued to glance back at me, as if seeking to discern the boundary between slumber and consciousness. His glances ignited a deeper eagerness within me, as I strained to keep my secrets hidden, fighting against the urge to reveal anything at all. Yet, in that very instant, I surrendered completely to the experience that enveloped me. Once he slipped into his shorts, he never returned to the bed. Instead, he settled into the chair in the corner of the room, his gaze fixed on me. Being watched so intently stirred a mix of unease and an inexplicable feeling deep within me. I lay there with my eyes closed, feigning slumber, yet I wondered how long I could maintain this charade. At last, I could bear it no longer and sat up, my gaze locking with Ethan's. I ensured that my voice trembled with emotion. As I mentioned, "You're filling me with such excitement, Ethan," I could sense the words lingering in the atmosphere. In that instant, it dawned on me that everything had changed forever. Ethan's eyes danced for a fleeting moment. With a deep inhalation, he began to weave his words into the air. "I am unfamiliar with Sophia," he responded, his voice calm yet unwavering. For quite some time now, we've shared this space, ever since my father departed. With each passing moment together, my feelings for you deepen. There are moments when my admiration for you shines through, even when I tried to keep it hidden. This feels like a surreal reverie, a tapestry woven from the threads of imagination." His words took me by surprise, yet they ignited a fire within me. Ethan kept his gaze fixed, unwavering and intent. His gaze captured mine with a sincerity and fervor that left me utterly captivated. "It's essential for me to rise with the dawn to ensure the vehicle is repaired," he pressed on, his voice tinged with a hint of self-persuasion, yet his gaze remained steadfast, unwavering in the slightest. "In this moment, I simply cannot divert my eyes from you. Sophia, a feeling unlike any I've ever known washes over me." In that moment, my heart raced with fervor. I approached the edge of the bed and settled into the chair directly facing him. My gaze locked onto his. The connection we shared was so powerful that it transcended the need for language. We lingered in quietude for a moment, and then I pursed my lips just so, fixing my gaze upon him. Ethan, a figure shrouded in mystery, beckons with an enigmatic allure. I responded gently. My voice carries a blend of wonder and a daring invitation. Are we sharing the same narrative? Ethan's gaze deepened, as if he wished to savor this moment through emotions instead of words. He remained silent, yet the look in his eyes conveyed everything, and in that instant, I realized there was no turning back for us. As I peered into his eyes, a surge of boldness and overwhelming feelings rose within me, a blend of uncertainty and exhilaration. In his gaze, I felt myself being propelled further. With a deep inhale, I gathered my thoughts and began to share once more. My voice is steady yet commanding. Ethan, enthralled, capturing his full focus. As I entered the room, I found you peacefully lost in slumber. Your robe hung slightly ajar, and I found myself captivated, unable to look away from you. It took on a depth more profound than I anticipated, a weight we cannot escape from. These feelings. We are both aware of that. As my words lingered in the atmosphere, I took a step forward and gradually rose to my feet. His eyes tracked my every motion. His breath quickened. The exhilaration surged within me, impossible to contain. As my fingers danced over the ribbon of my dress, each delicate tug echoed in the stillness, drawing attention to the subtle change in his breath with every movement I made. I suppose. Once upon a time, in a world filled with wonder and imagination, there existed a tale waiting to be told. It begins with the letter I, a symbol of individuality, and the start of a journey. Each character, each moment, weaves together a narrative that captivates the heart and ignites the spirit. Let us embark on this adventure, where every word holds the promise of discovery. I whispered softly, my voice barely breaking the silence. Softening to a hush. It's time to bring balance to the situation. Ethan, a figure shrouded in mystery, beckons with a tale yet untold. I gently unfastened the zipper at the back of my dress. The fabric slipped away. My shoulders sank down to the floor. The refreshing breeze caresses my skin. The fire within me ignited further. The look in his eyes revealed everything. In a moment of unexpected wonder, he found himself captivated by the quiet connection that lingered between us. It felt as though a connection was forming. In this moment, our breaths intertwine, a silent dance, as we hold each other's gaze unwaveringly. With a deliberate stride, I moved closer to him now. I proceed in a soft, measured tone. Ethan's gaze remained locked on me, and we would soon discover if our thoughts aligned. His emotions were a tempest, brimming with unyielding fury. In an instant, he stood tall, his gaze unwavering as he flicked on the room light. The gentle glow embraced the space as he crossed over and closed the door behind him. My heart began to race. In that instant, it seemed as though time itself had come to a standstill. As he stepped closer, it felt like the world around us faded away, and my heart raced with each passing moment. He seemed to be trying to decipher my gaze, yet he was equally attuned to the unspoken connection drawing us nearer as he stepped closer. His hands encircled my waist, and the warmth of his touch felt like an electric current coursing through me, all without a single word spoken. He leaned closer, his eyes drifting down to my lips. I remained silent. Everything about this felt so organic, as if it were destined to unfold this way when his lips finally met mine. All the tension within me dissipated like mist in the morning sun. His kiss was soft and searching, yet it carried a palpable fervor. My hands instinctively reached for his shoulders, drawn to their strength and warmth that enveloped me. The space that once separated us vanished completely as our breaths intertwined. That instant felt like a powerful explosion of all the emotions we had kept hidden from one another. Ethan's vitality and enthusiasm intertwined with the profound passion I had nurtured throughout the years. It was the dawn of an adventure, a moment both daunting and exhilarating. That night, the truth of our feelings for each other could no longer be hidden. I surrendered to the embrace of the bed, allowing myself to drift into its comforting depths. My body felt heavy, yet my thoughts raced like wild horses, and my breathing remained unsteady. My foot glided over the fabric of the garment sprawled on the floor. I sensed Ethan's gaze upon me, a powerful and serene intensity that enveloped the moment. With a gaze that lingered, he paused a moment later, bending down to gather the garment in his hands. His fingertips gently glided over the spot where my foot had once rested, a moment so simple yet profound. Deed shot flames through me as he held the garment for a fleeting moment. A flicker of uncertainty crossed his features, but it was quickly overshadowed by a newfound determination. With a casual flick, he cast the clothing aside, his hand gliding slowly to the edge of the bed. He crept onto the mattress, each movement careful and intentional as he drew nearer. The look on his face mirrored his feelings, a blend of eagerness and an irresistible pull, as I rested on the other side of the bed. I felt Ethan's presence nearby. My heart raced, and my breathing grew more intense. As I observed him leaning in my direction, it became clear that the distance separating us was all but gone. It seemed as though all things had come to a pivotal moment. In that moment, there was no turning back, and the intensity of what surged within me was overwhelming. It pained me, yet it brought me joy. As I gazed upward at the ceiling, Ethan's face came into view. There was something captivating about the way he brushed his forehead with his hand. In his eyes I could glimpse the depths of Ethan's experience. He was a deep shade of red. He was filled with excitement, radiating joy that was palpable. It was evident that every action he took was infused with enthusiasm, and I couldn't help but notice how he was breathless from the sheer delight of it all. Ethan had hurried me and my feelings to such an extent that I found myself surprisingly pleased when the automobile finally broke down. This hotel will forever remain etched in my memory, Ethan whispered, his voice trembling as he spoke his words. Pushed out each one, as heavy as a gulp, off breath. His eyes were riveted on me still. His hands quivered ever so slightly. His body was a fortress, every muscle taut and unyielding. Every action was executed with increasing meticulousness and precision, as though he yearned to preserve a fleeting memory. He expressed with fervor that he absolutely does not want his father to sell the automobile any longer. And after these words, he will allow himself to descend. He settled beside me, eyes shut tight, embracing the silence as he allowed his breath to find its rhythm once more. Fatigue enveloped me, rendering me speechless. My legs trembled uncontrollably, and I was left bewildered by how I had drifted into slumber the night before. Ethan arrived with a sense of urgency, and shared that we needed to collect Nathan and make our way to the city where he was currently on his trip. A wave of sadness washed over me, tangled with a swirl of confusion, yet amidst it all, a spark of excitement flickered within as I caught sight of Ethan. His gaze, his movements, everything about him wove a spell that captivated me. All was woven with such complexity, yet the outcome remained a mystery to me. The questions in my mind danced with exhilaration, blurring the lines between them. There was just one thing I felt deep in his heart: this journey would be the defining moment. Everything transforms when you reach this point. My narrative has surely captivated you. Be sure not to miss the next chapters. Tap the follow button, activate alerts, and become part of our tale by sharing your thoughts in the comments. I eagerly anticipate your thoughts.